Supreme Rising, beloveds. I hope you all are well. I am doing just wonderful. I had a few minutes and I wanted to come on and talk to you a little bit about a pressing topic that is in the forefront today. One of those topics that I've been kind of talking about for quite some time now. Actually, for a few years, I've been kind of warning people concerning the topic that I'm going to mention here shortly. But before I get into that topic, I want to first welcome my new subscribers, as I always do, and say I appreciate you guys being here on the Layla Awake YouTube channel. And hopefully there is something that I might say that will continue to resonate with you. And always know that if you ever have a comment, welcome to give it to me. I always welcome feedback, and I appreciate you so much for that. So welcome. If you're new here to my channel, I'm glad that you're here. The next thing I want to say, as always, I want to ask you to like the video before we get into the message. I always ask that you like the video, just take a pause and share the video so more people can see it. You'd be surprised at the people who need information that we have. And also click the notification bell so that you can continue to get the content as I create it. So I'm not going to be long, but I'm going to jump right in. And the topic that I want to discuss today is the bank collapsing. I know most of you by now knows that Silicon Valley Bank collapsed a few days ago. And I'm going to just come right out and tell you, you're going to have to seek the knowledge for yourself and get the correct information. You're going to have to connect with the right people, the right information, media sources. But I would suggest that you don't put a whole lot of hope in Babylon's media, because you're not going to get the complete truth. And so, from my understanding, and this is not coming from me, but I know a lot of times wherever there's a lot of smoke, there is a fire. So I am hearing that all banks have collapsed. Now again, disclaimer, that did not come from me. I'm just that's secondhand information, but I would not be surprised that if that is so. And what I am told is that they are going to ration out the news in about these banks in intervals, as to not have chaos, to keep down chaos, so that's a possibility. And that's not coming from Babylon News. That's coming from other sources that are seeking to give us, mostly what I get from these sources is more the truth. So, but Silicon Valley Bank, my understanding, is a huge bank. It may be the biggest, or one of the biggest. And because that bank collapsed, and if you're using common sense and critical thinking, then you should be able to link the dots and understand what's taking place here. So I've been telling people for quite some time, some years actually, to take your monies out of the bank. Very few people that I know listened. I've told family and friends consistently to start easing your monies out of the bank. A lot of times banks do not want you to remove your money. Of course, they don't. And sometimes, most of the time, they will give you a hard time according to how much money you're trying to remove at one time. So I started telling my family and friends years ago to start moving your monies out of the banks and, move them in smaller amounts consistently until you, get it all out. And a lot of people who did do that, they kind of left, including myself. We kind of left just a little bit in there to pay bills. But because I knew this day was coming, I knew this time was coming. And I just wanted to pre-warn all of those that I love and those that I know personally and that I care so much about, and everybody actually, because I am concerned about my people, period. So I've tried my very best to warn others to make that move. And so, of course, many did not. And so we're in this time now where it's going to be hard to get your money out of the bank, according to, the type of money that you may have in there. It might be quite difficult. But if I were you, I would keep trying before they announce, a total collapse, because that is coming too. That is definitely coming. So we're living in some very perilous times. And the good thing about it, though, is there's beauty in this. Of course, I've said many times on my previous videos that we're going into a new world. And as the frequency rises, we have to be prepared to rise with the frequency in order to make it in this new world. Many of us are already there. But I want to tell you, where we're going is not going to be a place for negativity, for evil, and ego. The ego alone. Of course we can accept a balance, but the ego alone, it's not going to be a place for that. And the biggest thing, though, that I'll say, we are definitely, many of us have been investing in precious metals, and land, and which is going to be much needed. But more than anything, I can tell you what I believe, and that is that unification is going to be really the key. It's going to be us coming together and returning to the neighborhood community mentality, so that we can work together to help each other. We're going to be going back to a barter system. And so we need to know, we need to have those things that we can share with one another, and also knowledge and skills is going to be very beneficial, because if I have a certain skill that the community needs and somebody else has something else, we can all come together and barter our skills, and just help one another. That is the place we're going to be returning back to, and we're going to have to help each other. The part where, and I've heard somebody talking about earlier today, how, all of this, the mentality, the wealthy mentality of where I have more than you and I'm better than you, and all that's going away. That's going to go away, guys. That's going to change. Either way you go, if you decide to stay in the third dimensional world, that's definitely going to go away. But if you decide to go and come into the fifth dimensional world, still, we're going to get rid of, we're ridding ourselves already of all of the materialistic things that have been helping to keep us in this mess. So we're going to, all of the ego, all of the I'm better than you, and I'm prettier than you, and I got more than you, all of that stuff is going to have to go. And the evil, mean, treacherous behavior that many out here has been displaying for a long time, all of that's going to have to go as well. we're going to have to learn how to work together, because we're going to be backed in a corner where we're not going to have a choice. We're going to be put in a place where we're going to have to help our neighbor, or get a helping hand from our neighbor. And I'm excited about that. I am so excited about that, because that's the kind of love that we should be sharing already. That's the love we used to share. That's the behavior we used to display as a neuromelanated family and community. So we're going back to that. And that's, again, that's what I am excited about. So for those who are just not paying attention, that are just not listening, I would say that they will probably be the ones to get a rude awakening, because it's going to happen. It's definitely going to happen. So it's time that I suggest it's time we wake up, pay attention, and understand what's happening on this planet. And, and realize that we can't just sit idle and expect Babylon to fix it, because Babylon already has a plan. They already got a plan for us. And their plan is to try to move us in those smart cities, and and bring on that mark of the beast, which I ain't having it. I don't know about you, but I refuse. We've been in prison already. We coming out of slavery. I'm not going back in anybody's slavery. And so, that's going to be a choice that you have to make. And you're going to be forced to make it soon, because we all are going to be forced. So I just wanted to come on and talk to you a little bit about what's taking place right now on the planet. And remind you guys, make sure you're stocked up on food. Make sure you have your weapons. Get your weapons, get your guns. Because when everything start going down, there's going to always be people who are not going to be prepared. And those people, desperate times, people resort to desperate measures, and your children hungry, you do just about anything to feed your children. So people who are not going to be prepared, they're going to be looking for help. They're going to be looking for food. And like I say, if you're desperate, people will take what they need, especially if they got hungry children. So I suggest, and I'm advising you guys to make sure you arm yourself. Make sure you protect your home, and make sure you have the things that you need. Because, and I hear some content creators, there's tons of amazing creators out here. And I hear some that say they ain't embracing doom and gloom, they're not preparing for nothing, and that's fine if that's the way they want to roll. But I'm telling you what I'm doing, and I'm going to advise you to prepare just in case. We could sit around and pray and hope and, and do the thing where, we ain't embracing any of it. And you can do that if you want to, but I'm telling you what I'm going to do. And I'm going to advise you to prepare. I don't think it's wise to just sit and do nothing when you see all of the things that are taking place. Now, I don't suggest that you allow doom and gloom to get in your spirit, and you sit around and you're sad and all, because then you're going to lower your vibration. So you don't want to do that. There's nothing to fear, especially if you are prepared. And now this is just Layla Awake speaking to you. And this is my advice. And I can only tell you what I believe and what I see and what spirit is giving me. So it's up to you guys to make a decision what you want to do. But this is what I advise you to do, to be prepared for what's coming. And I wouldn't embrace the mentality of going into these so-called smart cities, I wouldn't, but still prepare so that, things can go a whole lot smoother if you have done the things that you need to do. So that's just what I'm telling you to do. And you make a decision on what you want to do, guys. But again, the collapse is either happening or it has happened. And I'm gonna tell you, it definitely is affecting. Cause when it happened last week, when that bank collapsed, my husband and I were in the process of removing some funds from an asset, and we went on our account that the night before the collapse, and the next day, next 2 days, we went back in to initiate the withdrawal, and it hit us pretty big just that quick. So it's gonna affect us. It's gonna affect people, and so you can't just sit back and do nothing. I don't know, these people that are telling us to do nothing. I just kind of, I don't agree with that. I don't. Um, Again, you do what you decide to do, but I'm going to advise you to prepare for what's taking place and what is to come. So, it's better to be ready and don't need it, than to not prepare at all, So that's just what I want to say to you. And I thought I had a couple of the things I wanted to kind of mention. But yeah, it is time for us to come together and unify and be family like we used to. And again, if we don't do it on our own, which it doesn't look like we are going to, if we hadn't done it by now, Babylon is going to force us to come together. And we're going to need each other. We're going to need to come together and, make our homes on land, and and just help each other with the skills that we have. Everybody has skills. Don't let anybody fool you. Well, child, I don't know how to do. Oh, you can do something. Everybody has skills. We all have skills, talent. We all do. So let's start tapping into that, and going into this new space, it's going to be very critical that we sharpen up on those skills. And so I tell people now, with children that are coming out of a high school that's preparing to go into the next phase of their life, I always suggested to learn a trade, learn some hands-on skills, because with these robots coming in, they putting these robots in these hands-on jobs. I say hands-on. A lot of the jobs that are hands-on that a robot can do, they're putting these robots in these businesses. And so the cashier jobs and, certain types of positions, these robots are replacing humans. So you gotta have a trade. You gotta know how to do electrical work or plumbing or something technical. Those jobs that robots can't do, you're gonna need to kind of tap into those jobs, or suggest that your children kind of get them to see how necessary it is for them to learn how to get these skills so that they can do those jobs, because the robots are going to take over on these other jobs. So yeah, it's going down. It's going down. But you know what? We can handle it. We're made for this. I've said before, we are made for this. We are Teflon beings, and so very resilient beings. So we can handle it, and we can handle it a whole lot better if we come together. I'm at a place now where I'm definitely not going to tolerate any evil off of people. I put up with a lot of stuff over the years, a lot of disrespect, and maybe my boundaries weren't, in place like they should have been. But I am definitely, I'm really feeling great that I finally set my boundaries better, and I don't no longer tolerate the foolishness. But at the same time, for people who want to do better and are willing to, be respectful in my space, and I would suggest you to kind of pick up that as well. we need to try to come together and work together. We just need to do that. It's going to be so beneficial in this new space that we're going into. So, I'm not going to stay on. I just wanted to kind of talk about that a little bit. We've been hearing the rumors about the banks collapsing and, Babylon creating these smart cities. And you see they doing all these train derailments. And I'm hearing a lot about the airplanes being, having, malfunctionings. And so it's not a good time, I understand, to be flying in the airplanes. So pay attention, guys. Pay attention. Now is no time to be asleep, and it's no time to be, looking the other way. We gotta pay attention. It is so critical right now, guys. So let's do what we need to do, guys, so we can be ready for whatever is to come. And I just wanted to come on and talk about that a little bit this evening. But I'm going to sign out now until next time. I'm going to, again, though, ask you guys to like the video and share the video. And, again, click the notification bell so that you can continue to get the content as I create it. I thank you so much for that. And I really thank those of you who stayed on to the end of this video. I thank you even more for staying on. So I'm going to sign out now, guys. If there's something in particular that you would like for me to talk about, and we, can kind of hint on, just always send me a comment, say something. And I always read my comments, and many times I'll respond directly. Sometimes I'll respond. You will at the very least get a heart, because I appreciate all of you guys. Y'all know I do. So anyway, I'm going to go ahead and sign out. It's getting late and I need to get some rest. So I'm going to say assalamu alaikum to you. Shalom, namaste, ashe, 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 as I always say. And peace be unto you. Always get some sunshine. Hug somebody. And again, stay in peace and know that I love you. You're my family, always family for life. And until next time, I'm going to say bye-bye.